Every now and then, a home just doesn't sell. And so you have to look at what steps can you take in order to relaunch your stale listing. We're going to get into that right after this. All right, like I said, every now and then a home will sit on the market forever. And the different circumstances that are within the seller's situation dictate that they can sit on this home for an extended period of time. I'm talking about months, sometimes over a year, sometimes multiple years if we're talking about a very high-end listing. It can just sit there and sit there and sit there and have varying degrees of traffic coming through, interest shown by potential buyers, or just flat out silence and nobody's interested at all, but it's still active on the market. So how do you take that listing from stale to sold? Here's a few ideas that you can look at and your agent can look at as you look to relaunch a stale listing. Number one would be price. So I think we've talked about this in past videos before, but price is one of your number one marketing tools that you have at your disposal. Making sure your listing is appropriately priced at or just slightly under market value, depending on what type of property we're talking about. Sometimes in the upper echelon of properties, the high-end luxury homes, we're not trying to price under market value, and these are one-of-a-kind, rare things. It's like a piece of art that's a one-of-one type of situation, and sometimes those are very difficult to price, and we might even inflate the price just a bit to create value, to have the perception that this is truly luxury and worthy of purchasing, even at its high price. But if your home fits in kind of the average price range for your city or your area, you should look at what a slight or a large price reduction would do to your property. If you're staying with your same brokerage and your same agent, a large price reduction of 3 to 5% can have a huge effect. Statistics show that most homes sell within 3 to 5% of their list price, and oftentimes that can come after a really significant price reduction such as this. Sometimes it's necessary to hire a new agent and work with a different brokerage. In those instances, an entire repackaging and repositioning of the property will be necessary, and we'll talk about that in a second. But for now, if you are switching agents, sometimes that whole repackaging and repositioning can mean that you don't need to change your price, or just a small price reduction to kind of reshift people's mindset about the property might work just fine. Number two, if this property has been on the market for a long time, everybody that's looking online and in person is familiar with what it looks like. So I would say it's critical to take new photographs, probably restage, and if there's any fatal flaw with the appearance of the home, change that. Sometimes completely repainting the interior can make the home look completely different. And so these are things that we really need to take a look at to see if people are giving you feedback that they don't like how it looks. You can change that fairly easily. If you're changing anything about the appearance of the home, new photography is a must. So that would be step number 3. Take completely new photos, new angles, new light, new appearance, and when you relaunch that listing, it can look like a different property. Tip number 4 would be restaging. So if your home isn't staged, hire a staging company, stage your home. I have another video on staging. It is totally worth it and can make a huge difference on your bottom line once you go to sell. If your home is currently staged, talking with your stager to potentially swap out the furniture, maybe you look at hiring a different stager, but some staging companies will offer a refresh or a change out of some of the furniture, some of the colors, some of the artwork, some of those small changes in the property, even just changing the colors of the throws that are on the couch, that can reposition everyone's thoughts about what it is they're looking at. If you come out with new staging that's refreshed, new photographs that look totally different, then when you go to launch your listing or relaunch your listing, it looks fresh, it looks new, and it's just showing the property in a new and more positive light. Then tip number 5, the last one, would be marketing. So if your listing is stale and you've repositioned it with new staging, maybe new colors in the house, new photography, possibly a new price point, you take all of those new changes and tweaks to the property and put a world-class marketing campaign behind it. So where is this property needing to be featured? Every time you launch a listing for the first time, that first 2 to 3 weeks is your golden moment to make that property shine, get as many people through as possible while that listing is fresh on the market. Now, as you relaunch a listing, that next 2 weeks after your relaunch is the most important time that you need to focus on. Make sure your marketing campaign is on point. Are you in the right publications that you need to be if that's appropriate? Do you have your Facebook or Instagram or social media campaign ready to go and targeted to the right demographic for the property as it aligns with your relaunch? Is this a unique property like a waterfront home where you can arrange with other properties, other listings, maybe a waterfront tour, get potential waterfront buyers through all of the homes, create more momentum based on your relaunch? These are the types of things you need to think through as you're trying to build interest in a property that has lost interest over the last few months. So there you have it. If you're going to relaunch a stale listing, you need to completely reposition the home and put it in a different light, a more positive light, and a fresh perspective than what people are currently used to and what they currently think about your home. You're going to look at changing any of the physical aspects about the home, potentially restaging or staging for the first time. A new price. Is your price appropriate? Do you need to hold where you're at or have a small or potentially a large price reduction? And then you're going to have new photography, new marketing, and a fresh energy about your home as you go back to market. Now, no real estate agent likes to have that thought go into their head that 6 months down the line they're going to get fired because they're not getting the job done. But in some cases, changing brokerages, having a fresh energy and outlook about your property is what you need to get the job done. And so thinking about who it is that is working for you and on your behalf is also that final component that you should be considering as well. Now, I hope you found this helpful. If you have a home that's not selling, have hope. You can get it done. Look at your home for the first time with fresh eyes and see how you can alter a few things before you go back to market and relaunch it. Take care. We'll see you on the next video.